Well, we've been working on systems of equations, and now we're coming to the end of this chapter. We're going to take a look at systems of linear inequalities. And we're going to be using the calculator a lot, but we're also going to have to do a little bit of manipulation with some inequality statements. So let's see, let's look at a couple. Let's say that we've got one statement is y. Well, let's see, I want to erase that. I don't like that. Let's put it in white. Y is less than or equal to -4. Well, that's okay. That's kind of in that y equal mode. And then I've got a second equation, or I shouldn't say equation, statement, inequality, 3x plus y is less than or equal to 2. Now, I've got to rearrange this and get this more into what we might think of as a slope-intercept form. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. It's going to give me y is less than or equal to -3x plus 2. And now I'm going to graph these, and we'll take a look at what is the solution for the system of these two linear equations. Okay, so for this exercise, I'm going to actually be using a TI Inspire. It's one of the latest generations of the TI Scientific Mathematics Calculator forms, and I have it here on this particular laptop I'm using. I haven't used it a whole lot, so I might stumble around, but let's see. We're going to want to go in here and insert a graph. All right, and now you can see right up here, if you look at my cursor, it's got f of x. And if I hit this backspace right here, it brings up inequality symbols. And so if you remember, my two inequalities were y is greater than or equal to -4. So let's see, here's greater than or equal to. And I got -4, and I hit enter. And it is shading this region right here. And let's see, I've got another entry. I'm going to hit graph entry. I'm going to say function. I'm going to hit the backspace key again to bring this this menu up, and this time I got y is less than or equal to -3x plus 2, and so that's option 1 right there. So you see now I've got right here y is less than or equal to, and I'm going to go -3x plus 2, and I'm going to hit enter. And you can see that it is graphing, it has graphed both of these inequalities. Now, what we see here, this blue had to do with this, with the y is greater than or equal to -4. This -4 down here along this line. And this shaded area is the y is less than or equal to -3x plus 2. But this darker area right here, if you can see my cursor flashing around, right in here is the solution set to the system of these two inequalities. These are where these two inequality, the graphs of the two inequalities overlap. And that gives us our solution. Now we're going to look at a couple of additional inequalities. Let's start off this way. We got x plus y is greater than 2. And I'm going to go ahead and see my second, go ahead and do my second equation, which is -4x plus 2y is less than 8. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of rework, rewriting both of these inequalities. And over here, I'm going to subtract the x from both sides, which is going to leave me y is greater than -x plus 2. That's all I'm going to have to do to this one. And here I'm going to add 4x. First, start off by adding 4x to both sides, which then would leave me with 2y is less than 4x, positive 4x, plus 8. But I got a 2y here, so I got to get a y by itself. And so it's going to be y is less than, I'm going to divide everything by 2x plus 4. Now, let's jump over here to the calculator and see take a look at what our solution set may look like. Okay, we're going to graph these next two inequalities, again using the TI Inspire, one of the latest generation Texas Instrument calculators. So first I'm going to get rid of what I got here. I don't want to save it. I'm going to hit File, Close. It's going to ask me, do I want to save this? And I'm just going to say no. I don't really care to save it. And then I'm going to go back up into here. Let's see, I'm going to hit Insert, or let's say New Document. And we're going to hit Add Graphs. Gives us a different view of the window here. And I'm going to hit the backspace again, because remember my first equation after I rewrote it is going to be y is greater than negative x plus 2. So I'm going to pick the greater than symbol, which is option 4. And it drops it down here, and I go negative x plus 2, and I'm going to hit enter. And you can see it shades it right there. And let's see, I'm going to hit graph entry. Graph function, excuse me. And it brings right up here where I can enter a second function. I'm going to hit the backspace so I can get to my inequality symbols. And this time I'm going to be graphing y is less than 2x plus 4. So I pick the less than 2x plus 4 and hit enter. And my solution is this area right here that's in this kind of purplish color. This is where it's overlapping, where the two inequalities would be shaded. And both of these you see have dotted lines because they were less than. One was greater than and one was less than, but neither one of them were and equal to. And there's my function equations. And right in here, this purplish area is my solution set of these two inequalities. Okay, let's see if we can't do just one more. So let's start over here. I've got this inequality statement. I got x plus 6y is less than or equal to 2. And over here I've got y is greater than or equal to negative 1/6 x plus 7. Now, my inequality statement on the right is okay. I've got that y is kind of in that slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. But over here, I got a little work to do. I'm going to subtract. First, start by subtracting x from both sides. It's going to give me 6y is less than or equal to negative x plus 2. Now, I'm going to divide everything by 6 to get the y by itself. And when I do, I'm going to end up with negative 1/6 x plus, and when I divide this, because when I divide negative 1 by 6, it's 1/6, negative 1/6, negative 1/6. And when I divide the 2 by 6, that's 2/6. Well, 2/6 can be reduced down to 1/3. Now, let's see what we get when we go graph one of these. Okay, we're back over here on the TI Inspire. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to hit File, Close. I'm going to close that graph we did a moment ago. And I don't want to save it. One of the nice things about the Inspire, though, is I could save my graphs if I wanted to. And let's see. We're going to insert. Let's do the computer page size. I like that one better. I'm going to click over here and click Add Graphs. You can see I'm at this f of x. And I'm going to hit the backspace again because I'm looking to put in y is less than or equal to, it's option 1, less than or equal to negative x plus 2. Enter. Okay, so there we got that. And let's see, I'll need to add another function equation. I'm going to hit graph entry function. I'm going to hit the backspace to get me to the inequality symbols. And let's see, now I've got f of x. I think I had the inequality symbol backwards on the outside of the one. So we're going to say this is f of x is greater than or equal to negative 1/6 x plus 7. And we're going to hit enter. Now, I can see, let's see,